I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting the call today, but super excited. And I'm more excited about just ready to get started. There's a lot of work we can do to get Department of Homeland Security working, working for the American people. You know, the Department of Homeland Security has a very broad jurisdiction. And I think there's a lot of work that we need to do, and I'm excited. I'm here to enforce the policies that Congress passed, and right now I'm part of it, but once I make that transition, my focus is to keep the Homeland secure. That's going to be my focus, and we're super excited about this opportunity.
No, ma'am, I'm asking you, sorry to interrupt, but the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly.
Did the president know you were going to do this?
Yes.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
And one thing, Senator, I think would be helpful to know is how effective that communications has been. That
well, they
overwhelmingly
were effective in your name recognition. I mean, I personally just, I mean, to me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot. And I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. It's just hard for me to believe, knowing the president, as I do, that you said, Mr. President, here's some ads I've cut, and I'm going to spend $220 million running them, that he would have agreed to that.
Okay, that last part was Senator John Kennedy questioning Kristi Noem. Yesterday, President Trump today replaced her as DHS Secretary with Senator Markwayne Mullin. At the top of that sound, Senator Mullin says he's excited to take on the new job. President Trump reportedly did not know and did not approve of Noem's $220 million ad campaign that featured herself. Also reports coming in of Noem feuding with the heads of CBP and ICE, having problems with their staffers, relationships there. Joining us now from House Judiciary, Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, it's great to see you again. What do you make of this? You were in the House hearing with Kristi Noem. You've been watching her hearings all week. What do you think drove her firing? The president reassigned her as a special envoy to a new security initiative for the Western Hemisphere. Why do you think she was let go?
You know, you can't know all of this, what went into his decision, all the different factors. But I think if you were to look at what we've done on the border, there's phases to this. The first phase over this past year has been shutting the border down. And she did do well with that. We shut the border down. We've been very effective. We don't have the constant flow of criminals into our country. I think we're now going into a phase where we're going to work surgically to make sure that we get the criminals that are deeply rooted, that are a little harder to find. We're going to work at making sure that we do it in such a way that there isn't a lot of community activity or concern about how it's done or where it's done. I think we're going to refine what we've done in the past. So I'm not going to find a lot of fault with her. We certainly can find fault with anybody, and I don't understand everything about the ad campaign either, to be truthful with you. But now is the time to move on and focus on the issue at hand. And the issue is that we had allowed a tremendous number of terrorists, actually, that were on the terror watch list, and millions of people who are criminals and committed felonies in our country. Many of them are still there. We need to continue to do that and do it well.
You know, the FBI does have the U.S. in heightened alert. 18,000 terrorists led into the U.S. That's what lawmakers have been telling us. Senator James Lankford said Biden let in 70,000 from known areas of terrorism in just 1 year. Let's get your reaction to this. The co-host of ABC's The View, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, delivered a reality check on the serious damage to America from Biden's open borders. Watch this.
I think all lives matter to God. And we're in uncommon times, so we need to have uncommon sense about things like this. Yes, there will be mistakes made, but I think if Kristi Noem were up for promotion right now and she put forward the statistics that 0 illegals released into the U.S. for 10 months straight have not crossed, okay, that nearly 3 million aliens have left the United States, that we have the lowest murder rate in 125 years, that fentanyl trafficking is down 56%. We need a strong border, especially now with our current global situation. And I believe that you may say you don't want border control and you're against ICE, but I actually don't believe you in your daily lives. How many people in the audience here had to go through security to get here? Raise your hand. Just be honest. Otherwise, you go to jail, I guess, for illegal trespassing, right? We need strong borders more than ever right now. We are being infiltrated. But
Elizabeth, can I give you on the border when Renee Good and Alex Peretti were murdered, and death is not a mistake. That was a murder.
That was a murder.
Now let me
As
finish.
were those killed by illegal immigrants.
Let's not be
murder.
As were those killed by illegal immigrants, right? What do you think? That was an interesting flip of the script, how someone pointing out viewers in the audience had to go through security, but people poured in without any vetting under Joe Biden.
You couldn't make it up. People almost find it hard to believe. They'll ask you when you talk about it, are you really telling the truth? Yeah, we are. They let these people in. And to be honest with you, and again, we saw in the committee of the whole, the entire committee in judiciary, in my subcommittee, which I chair on oversight, time and again, you saw and heard of people that were let in this country that were known felons. It's disgusting. It's horrible. That's the issue at hand. We want to make sure that we get the country to be safer, and we will.
Congressman Jeff Andrew, thank you so much.